Fishguard and Goodwick ladies hockey side, a club that is clearly thriving. And good to feature another sport on the show, isn't it? It's going well in hockey there.
Yeah, it's brilliant to hear that so many youngsters are getting involved with the club, and they have a men's team as well, and they gained promotion last season, the ladies, and they're adjusting to that division. Fair play. It's good to see a local club, like many clubs around here. They're all thriving, and as you said, anybody who wants to, it would be more than welcome if they want to go and have a game or see how it pans out down there. They'll have a good welcome.
Absolutely. You can watch that interview back with Jasmine on the Facebook page right now. Indoor cricket first, Fraser, then we're going to get into the rugby because you were in Cardiff yesterday. So what's the latest from Neyland at the moment?
Yeah, Cresselli, just my performance from them, actually 75 all out. Pembroke have passed that pretty comfortably, 76 for 2. At Branston currently playing Pembrokeshire Seniors in the second match of the evening. We're just waiting for that result to come through. Should actually note on the mention of Cresselli, and we were talking about Narberth earlier, sadly from the weekend, Richard Fainus actually passed away last week. Richard, very well known for being in the stand, known to referees in stands as well. But at Narberth Rugby Club, Narberth Football, Cresselli Cricket as well. So sad news there.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for mentioning that, Fraser. And we're going to get into the rugby right now. We'll mention some of the local scores in a sec, but let's start in Cardiff, where Steve Tandys' reign as head coach began yesterday. We knew this would be a tricky start against Argentina. It finished 52-28 to the visitors. Fraser, you were in Cardiff yesterday, so tell us what it was like to be inside the ground for Tandys' first game.
I mean, being actually inside the ground, it was quite sad in a way, Ben. You know, the dynamic was different for myself, with friends and children, obviously, and then I got to go close to the ground. But it was just a feeling of apathy in there. There was you didn't sense any kind of passion or fire from amongst the crowd. There was no anger or frustration from anyone coming in that Wales had shipped 50 points at home, albeit against a very good side in Argentina. It was almost expected. And like I said, there was just apathy towards it. I mean, the game itself, I thought there was signs of positivity. Wales attacked very well, showed a lot more threat and cohesion than we have going forward at any time in the last couple of years, and scored 28 points speaks for itself. But defensively, it goes without saying, Leak tries far too easily, and that's something that I think we will become a better unit over time under Tandy. I'm not sure that we have the player level so to get back challenging the best anytime soon.
Gordon, what was your view on the game, and what's been your impression of Tandy? Because I've listened to him quite carefully in press conferences this week, and he certainly speaks well. I think the team are in good hands with him, and he's just going to need time, isn't he?
Of course he is. He's a passionate Welshman. Comes from where I spent a lot of my summer holidays. He comes from Tom Mawr, a very passionate village near Pontrhydyfen at the top of the Neath Mountain there. They love their rugby, and he played for the Ospreys. He's coached all around various international sides, the last with Scotland. He knows what it's all about, and as Fraser just explained, we're not going to change overnight. It's going to take a long time to get Wales firing as world's number one, which we were like 5 years ago. We played some really positive stuff yesterday. I was delighted with that, but defensively it was woeful. It was, we need to win the game this coming Saturday against Japan. It's so important. We're 12th ranked in the world, Japan 13th.
Yeah.
If we actually do lose on Saturday, it means that Wales will have to, for the first time ever, qualify for a World Cup. That would be a travesty as far as I'm concerned, because we are better than what we're playing at this moment in time. We just need to gel together and put in a decent performance this coming weekend. And I'm sure we will.
Gordon's made a great point there, Fraser, and about the qualification, because people will say, why is an autumn international a massive game? But it absolutely is. So early into Steve Tandys' reign, the thought of Wales having to qualify for a World Cup, and I've just had a look at what the process would look like. And I'm sure there's many a Welsh rugby fan who probably isn't sure. And why would you be? Because you've never had to do it. That would be hard going, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It wouldn't be so much having to qualify, Ben. You'd still expect them to do that, but it would be the harder seeding once they got there. I think it would mean they would have 3 seeded teams above them in their group and make it very, very difficult to get out of it or certainly progress to the knockout stages. So, yeah, it is a big game. It is must win in that respect. And also, I mean, you've got to be realistic about it. You look at it, they don't beat Japan. You're probably looking at a whitewash of defeats in the autumn, and then you go into a Six Nations campaign on the back of 4 defeats in a row. So yeah, for multiple reasons, the main one that Gordon's outlined there, Wales need a win on Saturday.
And what do we think? Do you think they'll do it? Because actually, Gordon, under Matt Sherratt, Wales won in Japan, didn't they, back in the summer with a much changed squad? Will they do it on Saturday?
Well, Sherratt is part of the backroom staff, ironically, Ben. So at least he will have a little bit of inside knowledge of how Japan play and what their weaknesses are, and obviously strengths. Wales, as I said, if they can put a game plan together over a period of 30, 40 minutes, and get a few points on the board, lead at half time, and then some game management and push on for the last quarter. Yeah, we can do it, but it's not going to be easy. Japan isn't going to hand it to them and say, "Here, boys, you better," and roll over. That's not going to happen.
So, Frakes, based on what you saw yesterday, would you think Japan are beatable at the weekend? 20-6 kickoff, isn't it? I think on Saturday.
Very beatable, yes, but it will need to shore up defence. Japan actually plays very good stuff against Ireland. Scored 1 very good try, and we were right back in the game. It looked like at 22-17, scored a very good second try. Unfortunately for them, it was pulled back and disallowed. Yeah, they will have to shore up because Japan do run the ball. They do have players capable of breaking the line, and that's where Wales was so vulnerable on Sunday. I'd expect us to play a tight game against Japan. I think if we do and we can control it up front, then I do think we will beat them. It's certainly not a given, I can say that.
But interesting what you said as well, Fraser, just about the apathy around the ground and really to kind of beat that and to get that atmosphere back. Steve Tandys really could do with a win and a decent showing against Japan because that's the way you get the support back on side, isn't it?
Well, I just actually check the statistic now. I hadn't realised that the attendance of our 50,000, I think it was the lowest for a top level team in Cardiff since 2016. And as I said to you there, you didn't sense any kind of anger or disappointment when Argentina were running in those tries. The Welsh rugby desperately needs some kind of morale boost, whether that comes in the form of a win against Japan or not. There's so much disenchantment there. There's so much worry. There's so much concern over the future of the programme and over certain teams. It needs just any kind of positive publicity that a win over Japan would give. And
I tell you, the one thing Gordy wouldn't have wanted as well is to lose his skipper and be so much sympathy for Jack Morgan. I think he went off with a broken shoulder, wasn't it, or dislocated shoulder?
Dislocated shoulder. Yeah. Outstanding again when he was on the park. To be fair to him, he's a warrior. He's a great player. But luckily, if I can say, we still got a few good sevens around in Wales. He is the best, but we have got a few replacements. Tommy Raphael, if he's available, could probably step in. I'd even call up Moriarty as well for a bit of bulk and, a bit of nous as well. But it'll be, I think he will. He'll change the back three, possibly. The full-back be lucky to stay there, Blair. The aerial bombardment they had on against Argentina, they dealt with it very poorly, and they conceded a lot of penalties as a result of not gathering the ball first time. And there's a few tweaks they need to make, and I'm sure they will. Thomas Williams was outstanding at the scrum half as well. I have to say that I was quite impressed with Dan Edwards. That one break where he broke through and he got tackled just as he sensed the try line. But there were some positive things to take from the game. Rhys Zamet's back. I would say he probably start. I don't know about Tom Rogers, maybe a change there, and the centre pairing wasn't exactly exciting, to be honest with you. Ben Thomas was very lucky to stay on the park. He did have a yellow park, but that petulant kicking out from behind, you don't need that in rugby, to be honest with you. It could have been a red and we would have been down to 14 men. We need to control our aggression on the park, and yeah, he would have learned a stiff lesson from that. I'm sure Tandys had a word in his ear about that incident as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, well, let's hope for a win against Japan. As I say, it's this Saturday. The match will be a 5:40 start, which can only be for TV reasons. Always a strange kick-off time, that. And hopefully Steve Tandy can get that victory, because they've had too many coaches, I think, over the last few years. So we need this one to stick and work, but it is a big job. Let's just finish by a quick mention of some of the local rugby from the weekend. We heard in the first hour, KT was at Narberth, and we got some reaction. It's been a pretty decent start in terms of the Premiership season, Fraser, for Narberth, but a tough game against Ystrad Rhondda, and actually disappointment in the Narberth camp that they went down at home by 20 points to 13.
Yeah, it went down 2013, and from all accounts, not very good display, actually, very disjointed. There was just quite a lot of disgruntlement speaking to Narberth people about the performance. So they'll want to put that right. I think the Premiership doesn't actually stop this weekend. So they go to Brecon. Actually, they've got a long trip on Saturday, so they're given an immediate chance to make amends. But you know that they'll be looking at that table now, Ben. It's 2 points above the bottom two. It's a crucial game now. So no, it's a harmful defeat for them on Saturday. That has to be said.
Yeah, indeed.
Brecon, we should say, are rock bottom, having not won in 7. So it's a big game Saturday. That
is an important game. Hopefully Narberth can get that. Gord, we always like to feature Tenby. We had that great interview with John Evans a few weeks ago on the show. They continue their good form. I understand they were in good attacking form as well. They beat Bury Port 27-17 at the weekend.
Yeah, well, Bury Port are very strong up front usually. They're the tough side to beat, and Tenby will be delighted to keep their home record going over the last few years undefeated. That's an excellent win for Tenby, to be honest with you, Ben. And, I don't know who they're playing this Saturday, but they're certainly in quite good form, to be honest with you. And, they'll be looking for promotion possibly this season, the way they're going.
Yeah, they're going really well, Tenby. There's no doubt about it. And just the other one to call out as well, and Fraser, we had a good interview in the first hour of the show with the Whitland chairman, Jason Bowen. On the pitch, Whitland were beaten 41-17 home to Ponta Delais, but actually off the pitch it was some week actually for everyone at the rugby club, and you'll know as a former player how important that rugby club is in Whitland, in the community, and hats off to them, because they opened the club up really as a place of refuge and warmth for people to have a drink, charge their phones when the flooding was so bad last week. So hats off to everyone at Whitland RFC for that. That was really good to hear, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Look, it is pretty central to the community, that club, and it just at least showed there was there's heart there and a spirit in the club. I suppose it was a good sign, and it was good on Saturday. And sounds a defeatist thing to say, but they did field a full squad after 2 weeks not being able to fulfill a game. I do gather they've got a lot of people back from injury now, and hopefully they can continue. There's no more of this. There's no more games where they have to forfeit or rearrange. It was always going to be tough. I think they're playing Ponta Delais. I didn't expect them to get anything from that. Ponta Delais top of the table. They've got a tough few weeks ahead with them, but at least they're back playing fixtures with boys available, if nothing else.
Yeah, and a great job by everyone at the club last week in tricky circumstances for everyone in Whitland and across the county. And the rain's actually not showing any sign of stopping, is it? There's weather warnings in place for tomorrow. So do go steady if you're out and about. Gusty winds and rain tomorrow. The Breakfast Show, I'm sure, will keep you fully up to date. Tom and Gina will be here bright and early tomorrow morning with all the latest on the roads. Guys, thank you very much for your time tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We will be back again next week, every Monday, 7 till 9 with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors for more Pure West Sport. KT has the mood train and he's on the way after 9. Good night.
Want us to shout about you? Message us now.